Hi everybody, this is Rana Husseini. On today's episode on Through Your Eyes, we have Hayley Sims over here who's going to talk a little bit about her struggle and how college basketball has treated her up to this point. So thank you for taking time out of your day and making this happen and sharing your story.
I appreciate you for having me.
All right, so Hayley, just tell me a little bit about yourself, where you're from, what you do, and whatever you feel like the audience should know about you.
I'm from Cleveland Heights, Ohio. I'm the only child. I come from a family with a lot of cousins and aunties. My mom worked a lot of jobs growing up. So if we were ever struggling, I never was aware of that. Like I said, I grew up in Cleveland Heights, Ohio, a small town, played basketball ever since the age of 2. I was very successful playing at high school, and which led me to be here in the position I am here today.
So you mentioned like playing basketball at such a young age. Who do you feel like played a big role? Because you said your mom worked a lot of jobs, and so who was that person for you that kind of got you going, that supported you from the start?
My cousin Marlon, but when I was younger, he was in school. So it was actually my other cousin Trey. We played one-on-one a lot in the backyards. And then when my cousin graduated from Dartmouth, which is Ivy League, he kind of took over and made sure I had a basketball in my hands ever since, and we took off.
And then your mom, how is she in terms of your support system and everything that you do up to this point?
My mom was a soldier. If we were ever struggling, I was never aware of it. She made my job a whole lot easier. All I had to do was take care of school and play basketball. She made sure I was where I needed to be as far as like practice. She made every game. One thing she taught me is like we all have the same 24. And my mom spent a lot of time grinding and making sure that I was always first. So she added something to my grind, because I used to see her grind and put in hours that always made me want to reward her with the stuff she was doing.
And you've been talking about her grind and everything she's been through, working several jobs. How has that allowed you to how have you applied that in times of struggle? Like, tell me a little bit about your struggle.
Just because I never seen her quit. In my last year at AU, I didn't receive any scholarships during playing basketball and during AU. So I had a lot of film that was put out to coaches, and I was verbally offered a Division I scholarship to attend Long Island University, which is a school in Brooklyn. And for so long, my cousin taught me, we trained, it was either Division I or die. The best talent, the best players, playing against the best competition. So that was always something that was set in stone for me, and I just feel like I had to achieve that goal, not only for him, but my family and for myself. And the opportunity was taken away from me. They kind of went in a different direction, and it was an eye-opener to me, because I don't want to say I thought it couldn't happen to me, but I thought I worked diligently for me to deserve that, and for them to go in a different direction. It hurt my pride a lot, because I felt like I let myself down, I let my family down, because the outcome wasn't what we all wanted. So, but I always say everything happens for a reason. During the pandemic, when the pandemic came in February of March around 2020, I came to Edinboro. I was already here for a visit. I came to see the team play. I met you guys. I met the coaching staff, and this is where I was most comfortable. And that door closed, and it opened several other doors for me. So I was very thankful that took place in my life for me to be here today.
And so, you talk about coming here. Like, was there a specific moment where you felt like you realized, like, this is where I'm supposed to be? Like,
yes, actually, when I had my first overnight visit, the way the team took care of me, we had so much fun. I could tell that the coaches appreciated who you were as a person, not just what you did. Before, I was always taught it's who you are as a basketball player. It's the only thing that's accepted. Here, I appreciated how she cared for your character, and she cared for more who you was as a person more than putting the basketball in the hoop. So seeing that was unique for me. And I was always taught that you're only important if whatever you can produce on the court. I could tell you guys were very family oriented, and so that overnight visit let me know that this was this place for me, because I knew I would fit right into you guys' family.
And so in that time of struggle, when they did pull your scholarship, when you didn't know where you were going to go, like, was there ever any thought that you wanted to walk away from the game, or just kind of, just like pretty much at your darkest time, how were you feeling if you had to sum it up?
Oh, for sure. I'm a worker, and I've dealt with a lot of animosity and conflicts throughout my career, but that one was the one that hit me the hardest, just because it was getting closer for me to graduate from high school, and I was left with no answers. I was kind of all my shots was predicated going to Division I, and when that door closed, I felt like I didn't have any more doors open for me. So I was kind of lost, because I didn't know what the next step was. But like I said, going back to my mom, never seeing her quit, I had took a couple of days off and a couple of weeks off to get my mental back. But watching her never give up and having such a strong support system behind me, I knew I had to get back focused, and the story wasn't over.
All right, so tell me a little bit more about the college life. Like, what would you say your average day kind of looks like?
Where I usually have 2 classes a day. I'm done before noon. We have practice around 1, so I come in and get treatment, come in and get a few shots up, ball handling warm up in, and we have practice. After practice, I'll get some studying in, and come in after studying and doing homework, come in and get some more shots up, and conclude my night with watching something fun on TV or something.
What's your favorite part about college basketball leading up to this point?
Playing basketball, winning games, traveling, eating out with you guys. It goes by so fast. So one thing this has always taught me is to, like I said, never take a day for granted. But being with you guys all 24/7 is the best part for me.
All right, so you just finished up last year, and you had a COVID year that we didn't play in. How would you say, in terms of performance, or I guess, how satisfied are you with that first year?
I think coming in my first year, it was high expectations, and I think that I fulfilled most of them, but I think I still have a lot of room for improvement. I think I was very respected within our conference and our games, but like I said, I still have a lot of room to get better at as far as helping our team win.
In terms of that individual freshman struggle that people talk about, and even the adjustment from back home, whether it's a culture shock, whether it's just simply, being homesick, how do you say that applied to you, honestly?
Within our first couple of games, I found a lot of success. And then towards the beginning of our 2022 season, I hit a wall. And school kind of took a toll on me. Not being around family as much took a toll. And I was kind of found looking for answers. And instead of looking for answers, I kind of had to find myself and dig myself out of that hole. And which I ended up finding a lot of success towards the end. But just not being able to, at high school, used to going home after a tough game and having mom and your cousin talk to me about things you can get better at. But here, I'm kind of just more on my own, more independent. And like I said, I just had to find a way to dig myself out of that dark hole.
And when you were trying to dig yourself out of that dark hole, did you find yourself, doing things out of character? Did you find yourself relying on other things, that you eventually had to catch yourself and stop yourself until you realign yourself in the process, that you feel like somebody else might be going through and might need this just to simply get out of that spot?
Yeah, I definitely felt that way. I felt me not being myself, even off the court. I'm someone who's very bubbly and finds happiness making other people happy. I was kind of to myself, and I became more quiet, which kind of showed on the court. I was unsuccessful because I wasn't being myself, and I had to go through the struggle to get through the struggle, and I wasn't fully embracing it. I was asking myself why, instead of understanding that this is happening to me. And I just persevered and understood that my time was going to come again.
And so we talked about how your scholarship got pulled and you were kind of trying to figure out, you know, what's next. How would you say you define yourself and your purpose today beyond just within these lines, beyond just the game? How do you define yourself?
I would say I'm a soldier. I would say that I can persevere through any situation. That moment taught me a lot. I'm very resilient. If anything, that's something I learned, is I'm very resilient, and pressure bust pipes, and my pipes were tested. But you know, I stuck to the script. I prayed on it, and I took every day, day by day, and I just trusted that all the work I put in, I was gonna come out on top, and that's what ended up happening.
And so, how would you apply that to kind of give back to humanity in a way? So not about you, really more about how has your struggle allowed you to, you know, relate to somebody else, to give back to somebody else. So
just to never give up. Always be yourself, no matter what. And whatever you put into something is what you're gonna take out. Never take a day for granted, but also believe in what you can do.
Marlon and your mom are in this room right now. What would you tell them?
Wow. I have a whole book, but if I could sum it up, I would just say thank you. Thank you for putting in all the time with me when you could have easily been putting that time into something else. I'm very grateful and appreciative for all the hours and money and time spent that you led me to be here. And I love you from the bottom.